and really considering that this is the time to be hyper local, right? Have a block that's in distress. It doesn't really matter how well they're doing 3 blocks away. If this block is in distress, it's going to bring that down with it. And I think people are really starting to see, oh, yeah, I actually am in a safe neighborhood, but I heard the gunfire, and it's a block away.
So how is it, how are we gauging and predicting where we might be when we take in consideration the human factor and how people might come out of this in terms of their own well-being and how they interact and how they want to interact with each other?
I think it will certainly expose the places in your systems that are the weakest. And there's no reason for us to expect that systems that haven't been tested at this level, we don't drill for pandemic crises, or for that matter, states of emergency. What happens when failure is catastrophic? Not like, well, if this happens, I'm going to do this. What if all of your systems go down? Or what if all of the power goes out? I mean, those are the kinds of things, not just for 2 days, but goes out and is not rebuilt because Puerto Rico doesn't matter. Here, take some paper towels. We do have to think about those kinds of elemental corruptions that you can't really glaze over, that maybe the opportunity that should not go to waste in this current crisis is really looking at a level set that says how much of this is going to always keep occurring over and over again if in fact all the lifeboats are actually at this end of the boat and that everybody else is trapped below deck. In the current crisis that we have here in communities, generally in organizational culture, when communication is low, trust is low, and you don't have a strong network of communication in most Black communities, there are very few institutional presences outside of the police department. If people can't gather in church, we got a lot of churches, but they can't gather in church. So we have no place where the information is being disseminated. So right now, communication is very, very low. And what rushes in when communication is low is innuendo and rumor and I thought, and the virus is killed off when you don't really worry about it. Heat kills it, and then the president's saying the same normal, crazy stuff. So all of your systems are kind of out of place. So one of the things that we're thinking about is that what happens when your traditional hierarchical leadership structure is damaged to the place that not only is the captain maybe gone overboard, but all the second mate and all the rest of the mates are gone too. And you don't see any of those people in community, just the people who have the guns are here, and they're guns on both sides in these communities because they allowed those things to flourish for a long time. And that's really what we're really having the opportunity to look at in a city like Baltimore, because the disparities are so enormous and they've existed for so long that you have a system that's probably not worth preserving in the old way that we think about preserving them in the first place. That we really should be looking at how in this moment do we create a system that is just. How do we get together with people like Jamal, who are design thinkers, and if we give Jamal the magic wand for a little while, he could say, well, if you really wanted a just and fair and verdant society, you would think about it this way and start to rebuild around that, because almost all of our systems, they're not broken, they're fixed in place, permanently marginalized sections of the city that we just came to accept that these people are going to be always poor. And so if in fact, yes, food is in the grocery store, but if they don't have money to buy the food, well, I'm a student of history, and if you look at revolutions, they all begin in hungry bellies, no matter how high the wall or the fence is. So this is the moment where we may want to think about not lurching from crisis to crisis to crisis, but what would happen if all of the systems seem like they're permanently fixed in a broken, like the normalization of deviance, right? These are the things that bring the whole kettle of fish down. And if you have a system that is run by liars who are going to lie about the corruption and pretend that it doesn't exist, you really won't be able to have very much of a thing to press the reset button on.